Hey everyone, how's it going? Rybird here, and welcome to something different, a little special, a little secret, and a little round. I actually have the first look at I Have a Story to Tell by TheRealRound and his friend. So, yeah, I'm not going to waste too much time. We're just going to go into it. I don't know too much about what this is going to show us, but I do know a little bit on what they want to do. So I'm real excited to show everyone. And this is my first time, so I guess showing myself and you. And if you don't know, TheRealRound and I have been playing.
Hey guys, you might have been wondering where I've been for the past little while, and the answer is not lost in the forest. Trust me.
For so long, I have not seen his face. He is the man of my dreams. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here, Round. Come here. This is so crazy. I've never seen his face. I've only ever estimated what he looked like. And, you know, at first, the way he described himself, I envisioned that he was going to look like Kingpin. But the way that he talked about himself reminded me of Kingpin, which is kind of not the case. Look at that. All right, I'm not gonna dwell too much, but this is new to me completely. I've only ever heard his voice. He knows who I look like because of my videos. I've just never seen him at all as long as I've known him. Which, Round, how long has it been? It has to be over a year. Okay. All right, I'm not going to dwell on this sexy lug.
I would never do anything that stupid. I'm certainly not lost in the forest. Ignore the fact that I'm in the forest. Basically, I decided to give you guys a little bit of an explanation as to where I've been and also just kind of show you my face as a little fun little bonus. So yeah, this is what I look like. I'm sorry if I disappointed you, but
didn't disappoint at all.
Just a little bit of an explanation as to where I've been for those of you who don't know. I used to work for a different employer. I recently swapped jobs, and I've been focusing heavily on trying to be really good at that job so that way I can ensure that I can keep that job and also have a good career going forward. So that training's basically done. But as well as that, I have an announcement to tell you guys. Basically, I'm going to be starting another channel. This channel's not going to be going anywhere. If you are only here for gaming, good for you. It's still going to exist. I'm still going to try to upload videos and stuff like that. But for those of you who like when I make horror games, I have some more stuff for you, basically. Because if games aren't the only thing that contribute to your life, then you know just as well as I do. Oh, look, the rain's picking up. You know just as well as I do that there are some interesting things in the world that might be a little bit paranormal. And if that just made you excited, me saying paranormal, well, then you probably know what's coming next. I'm planning on starting a new channel with a friend of mine called Sean. And what we're going to be doing is ghost hunting. That channel will be in the description of this video, so if you want to go ahead and subscribe before we even get any videos on there, because you just like being so eager, we can certainly get that done for you. The channel already exists. It has existed for a while. It just doesn't have any content on it yet because we haven't been able to get anywhere to investigate stuff into yet. You picking up what I'm putting down? But I also kind of wanted to give you guys a little bit.
I legit saw that meme. Oh wait, never mind. Round sent it to me. I was like, was this some corporate thing that I saw?
Because as you know, clearly I'm not just going to start a video that's like 3 minutes long of me being like, hey guys, I've been gone because I got a new job and also new channel, go subscribe. No, I'm also going to like give you guys something because I haven't been on for like 2-3 months, something like that. I don't know. You tell me.
We're getting some content.
But
it's some content.
What it kind of looks like is I've been gone for a while, so I'm going to give you an explanation as to why I'm going to be starting this new channel for ghost hunting. Basically telling you a little bit of a story. Because stories are cool. Because we like stories. Because we're humans. We like stories. Basically, for a long period of time in my life, I've believed in ghosts. Just because there's been a lot of things in my life that has led me to having to believe in ghosts. I've had a lot of encounters in my life. I'm not going to try to persuade you into believing ghosts, by the way. And if you want to believe that I'm like schizophrenic or something, that's fine. to each their own. But throughout my life, I've had a lot of situations where I've had nothing better to believe than that there are ghosts or something else paranormal. So, basically, I don't know, people are showing up. I'm not a public speaker, I speak to cameras. Yeah, so basically, throughout my life, like growing up, I've
It's true.
had a few
I
situations
know that
where it seems like I've been followed by something, harassed by something, you know, whatever you want to call it, possessed by something. It's been a very weird life, to put it lightly. But basically, to kind of look at it from this perspective,
relationship.
growing up,
difficult.
it seemed like I was being followed by something which popularly is referred to as like the red-eyed children or the black-eyed children.
Sure as heck, we're going to read that. Black-eyed children, or black-eyed kids, an American contemporary legend, are paranormal creatures that resemble children between ages of 6 and 16 with pale skin and black eyes, who are reportedly seen hitchhiking or begging or encountered on doorsteps of residential homes.
It's a little bit weird, but the way that it kind of interacted with me doesn't quite seem to follow the pop culture influences of it and how it's typically been depicted. So basically, to kind of get you a basis of what I've been, you know, paying attention to for a long period of time in my life, it seems like I was followed by two, like, demons or spirits or whatever you want to call them, cryptids, you know, whatever you believe in, whatever you choose to believe in. You know just about as much of this as I do as soon as I get through the story. But imagine like a boy and a girl, super pale skin, black hair, eyes devoid of existence, just like two voids here, or sometimes they would be red. But most of the time it was just completely devoid of anything. You couldn't really see anything there. Unless they were trying to do something, then it would turn red. But the thing about it is that they seemed to be dressed in like old, like Victorian era, like children's nice, like medium class clothing, like black with like white frills on it and stuff like that. Super
Nice,
super
like the
basic
visual.
posh bullshit, you know, rich. But the thing that was weird about it the whole time was the like how often they seemed to show up. It was a thing that used to harass me a lot, especially in my old house. So basically, I'm just going to start the story. You know what they look like. But for the longest time, whenever I was growing up, I seemed to be getting followed by these kids, and they would always be trying to persuade me to come outside and play. It was really strange. And the thing that was weird about it is that they would never be inside the house. They never wanted to move. I never saw them walk, really. They would always be outside of my window, just far enough away to where it's like if I walked that far, I knew my parents wouldn't probably be able to catch up. It was weird. And they would always be like whispering to me, trying to get me to come to them, but it was loud. It was weird. Like they'd be like sitting there, they'd be whispering or talking at the loudest, and they would just like be like, "Hey, we want you to come outside. We want you to play with us." And I would always say no. But like, it was just weird because it would happen almost all the time. There was a point where it was
Damn right, he said no. Round's a gamer. He has a big brain that he knows the games are inside, and if you go outside, that's not where the video games are. Sure, there's games. You could play ball. You could play football. You could do many things with balls outside. But indoors, you could also do stuff with balls inside. But you could also play games. That's what the boy likes.
every day. But the worst times it ever happened was whenever I stayed at my Nana's house, who lived in the middle of a forest. Yeah. You know, like one of these things? You ever seen this thing before? It's cool. It's a bunch of trees. But it's called a forest. And my Nana used to live in a house that was an in-ground house in the middle of the forest somewhere in Missouri. I don't quite remember where it was. I was like 8 or 6 or something like that. It's been a long time. I'm 21 now. And the thing that's weird about these kids is that they would harass me even there. And there especially, they would really be trying to get me to come out there. And it was really weird. Because like, whenever I was in that house, it wasn't like one of those things where it's like, oh, I could like go to a room with no windows or anything like that, because this was an in-ground house, and you would think, oh yeah, in-ground houses, they wouldn't have windows in every room, would they? Yeah, they're called skylights. They do, and they're actually worse than regular windows because it means that whatever person or thing you might be looking at is standing on the roof, which is somehow scarier than them just standing outside of your house. I don't get it, but they would
I didn't
basically
think it was
peer
like
through the
legit in
skylight sometimes
ground.
whenever I was staying there, sleeping, and they'd be like, "Hey, you should totally come outside and play with us. There's so much room to play.
But
You
like just
should
standing
do
on the
that. Come
ceiling.
play with us like forever, never go back." And it's like, no. One night I lost my shit. For some reason, I don't know what happened, but I snapped and I just started running out there. Started running at them. But luckily my Nana happened to wake up, and because the house security system went off as soon as I opened up the front door, and she ran out there and like grabbed me before I actually went any further. And the weird part about that was is whenever she grabbed me, basically it was kind of like I got jerked and my eyes shut as a result of it. And then whenever I opened my eyes, they were gone, but I could hear them still. They were laughing, and it was like super loud and booming. It was like shaking the forest, it felt like. But they were gone, and it was so weird and so bizarre, and I don't really know how to explain the way that it felt, but it like kind of changed a lot of the ways that I looked at things. And then for a long period of time, shortly after those kind of scenarios where like they were just peering out of the window telling me to come in and like laughing super loud, there was one final day where I seemed to have my interaction with them, and I haven't seen them since. And that was back in like 2019, 2020, 2021, something like that. I'm not quite certain. I'm a poor historian, like dates wise. I can remember days very well. I can't remember dates very well.
Yeah, I can't.
But,
I can't either. I need other
it was
people to
pretty much
remember
whenever I
dates
was
for
moving
me.
out of my previous house. And whenever I was moving out of the house, it was such a weird feeling because it was almost like the house got angry. It got heavy. It got hot in the house. The house was making more noises than usual. It was bizarre. And the thing that was kind of upsetting about it was that at the very end of it all,
Those leaves
when
are
we
very
just
active.
said, this is it, we're done, we did everything that we can do to get all the stuff out of this house. It's pretty much just like the imperfections of the house that are what's left over. Me and my mom walked to the back of the house, and we turned the breaker off so we wouldn't have a bigger final electric bill. Really weird circumstances that we were in with this house. I could go into the logistics of it all, but no, I'm not gonna. But when we turned the breaker off, it got dense. It was like moving through jello. The air was so thick. And the weird thing about it was, you guys saw something? I don't know. The weird thing about it was like as we were walking through, I could swear I saw things crawling around us, like quadrupeds, dozens of them just walking around, cackling, making sounds and stuff like that. And my mom, she saw something too that was a little bit weird. But whenever we left out of the house, it was like the world was getting loud, and then I shut the door, silence. It was quieter outside of the house than it's ever been. There are dozens of birds out there. There are dozens of squirrels. There's owls. I've seen owls. They're so cool. But like, dead silence. Not a noise. Not
one of the few gamers that went
outside. You didn't
outside.
hear leaves rustling. There was nothing out that night. It was weird. As soon as we shut the door, silence. And I don't
That's
really know how to
insane.
describe it. But yeah, that's a tree. That's definitely a tree.
What time is it there? It's like so dark.
Yeah, but it was such a weird experience. Basically, to kind of explain what my mom saw, whenever we were leaving out of the house, there was a room in that house that we walked past, and over the night, me, my mom, my girlfriend, my nana, and my aunt, I believe, all saw the blinds in that room, and they seemed to have been getting darker and darker over time. It was really strange. And then whenever we started to leave, my mom claimed that she saw red eyes starting to burn in like the silhouette that seemed to be forming in those blinds, which I kind of caught a glimpse of it. I didn't quite see it clearly. It was definitely a very weird situation. But not the weirdest thing that happened that night. Whenever we left and went back to the new house where we were bringing the last bit of stuff over, I saw one of them again for the first time in what was years. I didn't see the girl, which seemed to match the silhouette and the blinds the most. But what I did see was the boy, which always seemed to be the weaker of the two. He was shorter. He was seemingly the quieter of the two. He didn't really have much to say, but whenever we were driving home, I saw him in one of those retention ponds where, like, there's the road, it scoops in, and then it's property on the side of it. That's called a retention pond for those of you who don't know. It also has another name. I can't remember what it is. But I saw him running through, but it looked like he was melting. And before he could even reach the road, like starting to approach where our new house was, he just dissolved and fell into the ground and got absorbed by the grass. It was such a weird thing to see. But ever since then, haven't really had any interactions with him or anything like that.
Crazy weird.
It was a
not crazy weird, but you know,
really weird day. Don't really know how to describe it. And I've had a ton of stuff that's kind of happened like that in my life. It's a really weird story. There's tons of stuff like that. And if you guys want to hear more of the stories that I have related to that, then let me know. And I'll tell you some more stories. Whether it'll be on this channel or the old home channel, I don't know. But you can figure that out. Because I'll probably make that announcement at some point. But other than that, I think that's all I'm going to do because it's starting to rain a little bit heavier and it's starting to get a little bit colder and it's starting to feel a little weird. So that could just be subconscious. But other than that, if that's all I'm going to say today, then I'm basically, here's the little sneak peek to the new channel. But other than that, bye.
Yeah, we're gonna pause before we get on to the thing, and that is actually like a little sneak peek. That is crazy that happened to him, and you know, he actually did tell me that tale. We're playing Labyrinthine, and at the end of one of the episodes is kind of when we're talking about it. And regardless, it is great that he left that house, to leave all that behind and to not worry about it, because who knows what would have happened still being in that house. I feel like a lot of people had something that they couldn't really explain, or whether they believe in ghosts or don't believe in ghosts. I don't know. It's not my place to tell you what to believe in. But if you did have something interesting, I want to see it down below. Alright, but let us go ahead and the sneak peek because I'm interested. Nice. Alright, that's the channel name. We're going to be going to that. Ooh. I like that. I like the little intro. That was good. Let us actually go over to that site on YouTube. Okay, it took me a little bit to find it. You will find the link to the description down below. I highly suggest subscribing. And sometimes it's just hard on YouTube to find new channels, and it's kind of annoying. But this is it. It is down below. If you like ghost stories, I know you do because you've been watching my Bizarre Bubs stuff. This is my boy Round, and he and his friend are going to go out to haunty places. So I could have sworn. Okay, I could have sworn I did. Round, it's not what it looks like. I could have sworn I did whenever you first showed me. But yes, I'm a member. You'll be seeing me pop up in these videos as well. I'm not actually. You'll be seeing me in the comments section. Although it probably would be legit, and I have looked up plane ticket prices for there. He lives far away. I'm over here, and he's just over there. But super excited about the channel. I want the best for Round and his friend, and it was amazing to actually finally get to see him. I know it was dark outside, but that's the best we got. I had the visual Kingpin in my head, but we actually got to see the lad. Amazing. 10 out of 10. But yes, no, down below, please let me know if you have any creepy stories or ghost stories that you want to share or tell. I want to hear them. And also, please subscribe to Old Home. The link's there. Do it. Thank you. Alright, but that's actually going to be it for this episode. I enjoyed getting a little sneak peek and about what the series is going to hold for us, and I'm super excited to actually watch the first episode. I know he's been gathering equipment, and they're getting prepared to actually do Ghosty Boys. Alright, thank you for watching, and I'll see everyone later. Alright. Yeah. Okay. Bye-bye.